This is the art corridor, where students of the Aston develop their creative and artistic skills with teachers like Mr. Pollard.
So, for students who have to take the subjects compulsory, so year 7, 8 and 9, how would you energise them into enjoying the subjects and getting them involved in art?
The big thing about with the lower key stages is with someone like year 7s, they're less excited coming to secondary school, so they're more enthusiastic. As they get older, the students get to have their own opinion, so it's really a question of trying to find something that they're interested with and locking on. I mean, the great thing is it's a skill set that I have to teach. So, for example, doing human form is a standard thing that comes up all the time. But say the year 9s, I would actually look at the group, work out what the group are interested in. So, for example, I'm doing sculpture one group, superheroes another one. It's still getting the main key sets in there, but it's finding something that students are interested in. So, like with year 7s, I want to teach them basic clay work. So the easiest way to do that is do something like create a Manchu monster or something like that, because they won't realise that it's actually work. And when it comes down to something like teaching basic drawing skills, it's again of showing the reasons why we do something, so why we do something before we do something exciting. Because a lot of students say, oh, I want to draw this or I want to do that. But you've got to understand the basics beforehand. So if you can see them the reason why they're doing something, they're more apt to actually work through it. But you know, whatever you do, you're always going to get the kid who says, oh, this is dull, this is boring.
This is the drama studio. Here, students will come to exercise and develop their dramatic and performance skills, studying different plays, different playwrights, and their techniques when it comes to drama. So, what first inspired you into teaching drama as a subject?
I just had loved drama since I was about 5 years old, and doing plays at school, it just, everything felt right when I was playing the part. So I always knew that was what I wanted to do, and I'd always been persuaded by my parents to try and do something different, something more academic. But then my mum saw me in a play during my A-levels and said, okay, maybe I was wrong, perhaps you should pursue this. And they agreed to fund me to go to university to do a drama degree. And that then led me on to doing various sort of jobs connected to drama, and eventually led me to coming back to teaching, which was something I didn't do for a very long time. I worked in other jobs connected to drama for about 18 years, and then went back to become a teacher. Okay.
So, how high would you rate the subjects in terms of careers as opposed to, say, core subjects like English and maths?
I think there's a real misunderstanding about drama, that it's a bit of a wishy-washy subject, and that it's very difficult to get jobs within the drama field. I think that's wrong. It's one of the fastest growing areas for jobs that's currently around. And I think people will always want entertainment, and people will always need good communicators, no matter what role they're playing or what job they do. I also think acting or being a drama teacher or doing drama therapy or working behind the scenes are no less insecure jobs than any other job these days. So I would rate it as highly as any job or any subject. Okay. And how do you make these subjects enjoyable for students during lessons? I hope that it's an intrinsically enjoyable subject, because it uses a variety of different skills and different learning styles. So, there's often stuff where you're sitting down or you're discussing or debating, sometimes you're writing, but then you're also getting up all within one lesson and moving around, and then you're working in groups, and then as an individual, and then in pairs, and you get to be more intensive as the lesson goes on, and that's always the way we structured it. It's intrinsic in drama as a subject, and I think therefore it appeals to all learners. And then it's just a matter of continuing that through to sort of more meaningful subjects when you get into GCSE or A-level, and keeping as much variety and much interest. I also think it's down to the passion of the teacher, and the two teachers at this school absolutely love drama and live and breathe it even when they're outside of their subject, so hopefully that's communicated as well.
Okay, and how do you change the lessons for different students, say in GCSE and A-level? How is it different between the years?
I suppose it's the level expected. We push our A-level students much harder. We push our GCSE students harder than we push Key Stage 3. A lot of it is dictated by what we have to put across as part of the exam courses. But it is just no longer kind of accepting anything they do, but getting them to think much more seriously about the detail of how they use their voice or they use their body language, or getting them to explore characters in much more depth and much more range. And at A-level, it's them starting to explore play text and things like that in much more depth and range as well. And also at A-level, they're then starting to not only become actors, but also work as directors, so taking the next step.
Okay, and for students who have to take the subjects as compulsory, so year 7, 8, 9, some of them may not have the same passion for drama as you're talking about, so how would you make it enjoyable for them?
Well, again, that's down to the variety of different activities that you do. So there's always something that will appeal to any learner. And we have a lot of students who are just not interested in drama, but still enjoy the opportunity to get up and move around and be someone else, or explore situations they've never really considered. And ultimately, this is a communication subject, so they are learning to work effectively with each other. They're learning confidence. They're learning the skill to be able to communicate both through body language and their voices. So they're learning so many useful skills that even if they don't go on to pursue it, hopefully they're becoming more fully rounded human beings with more confidence.
Yeah. Okay, so is there any advice you would give to students who want to carry the subjects on to GCSE, A-level, or even as a career?
I think it's down to the passion and the experience. I think the more you see, the more you participate in, and the more you do, the better you will be. And the greater level of intelligence you have in the approach, because it's also a subject I think people assume is not something you need to be particularly clever for, and I think that's completely wrong. I think you need a really good awareness and understanding of the world around you, and the ability to analyse motivation and situation and character in a great deal of depth. So I would say experience the world, experience theatre, go and see bad things as well as good things, so you get to know what is good and what works. Be in it, even if I still do masses of amateur theatre, and I think that keeps me on my toes as a drama teacher, because I'm still going through it myself, so I know what it's like to be there and doing it. So experience, that's what I'd say. Okay,
and finally, there's obviously acting and directing you talked about earlier, but are there any other sort of career types that the subject could lead on to?
Yeah, there's all sorts. You can work in community theatre, which is where I started, where I was doing pyrotechnic workshops and kite making and puppetry and fight choreography and community theatre productions and workshops. You can do things like drama therapy, where you can combine it with sort of the more medical side. There's teaching. There's all the behind the scenes kind of activities that you can do, stage management, directing, property master. You can combine it with history. Dramaturgy is a really interesting job where you investigate the historical background of certain TV programmes or plays that you're doing, and you are the historical advisor for a production, and you make sure all the props are authentic and so on. There are thousands of jobs out there. People automatically think actor and that's it, but there are thousands of jobs out there that are connected. And as I say, I made a very successful career. I've never done anything but drama. I only became a teacher 12, 13 years ago, and I've never been out of work, so I've managed to find plenty to do.
Okay, thank you very much.
You're welcome.
This is the music block. Here, students will find their creative side when it comes to music, studying different styles of music and how to create them. They learn this through the help of teachers such as Miss Waterfall.
Okay, so what inspired you to teach music?
I suppose just because I love music. I did my degree in music, and then I actually went into hotel management for a while and found myself all the time wanting to play the piano in the hotels instead of actually manage the hotels, and so decided that obviously I'd made the wrong choice, and I wanted to play music and share music with people and have fun playing music.
How would you rate the subject, because some people say that music's more of a minority subject compared to other subjects such as English?
Well, because of statistics, government statistics, yes, I have to go along with that people are going to want to get maths, English, science, but as far as I'm concerned, music's the best, of course. Why study anything else?
I'm sure everyone would say that who did music.
That's a bit louder, Lara.
Sorry, how do you make the subjects enjoyable for students in each class?
Well, I hope that we make the subject enjoyable. It's difficult sometimes because you still have to do the theory in order to get good at it, and you still have to learn the set works for GCSE and A-level, so you have to do that side of it. But I think playing instruments, and particularly group work, is where most people have a lot of fun playing.
And how do the lessons differ between the GCSE groups and the A-level groups?
The further up through the school you get, the more complicated it gets, basically, and so the more work